I think the quality has always been very good, and I'm just impressed by how many different varieties are here, and then the diversity of styles that are showing this time.
The quality, as we all agree, has gone up and up, continues to improve every year. But I think what's really exciting now about BC Wines is we're tasting more and more like ourselves. And we're tasting like our own individual regions, our own individual sites, and I think that's where all the enthusiasm comes from to make our separate geographical indications and really say, okay, in this part of the valley, wow, we make really individual and beautiful Pinot Noirs, and here we make great Riesling, and here we make great Syrah.
At the top level, there's now a strong fine wine dimension coming from BC, which I think is quite exciting. And I think it's over the last 5 years, we've seen quite significant strides there.
What I tell people today is that I've noticed in the last 5 years a huge jump in quality. So there was a whole sort of period of, getting organized, but in the last 5 years, a lot of young people and a lot of interesting stuff going on.
Our best examples are fresh on the palate, pure of fruit, and really speak to our beautiful, cool but hot climate that's based in stone fruit orchards and apples, and are a really great representation of what people think of Canada.
I think to have a personality and identity is definitely a goal, and I think this place does have a personality and identity. It is a place that leaves a strong impression on people when they visit here. And I think the top wines are interesting because what's unusual about them is they're not necessarily super cool climate wines. There's some quite warm wine growing areas here, but it's this short, intense growing season that I think produces wines that are really quite interesting.
What's interesting is we have so many styles that are emerging because we have so much regional distinction. So in general, we have the capacity to have a lot of ripe fruit and a lot of natural acidity, and that conjunction of ripeness with brightness is what a lot of wine regions around the world can't achieve.
They do stand out internationally because they're very representative of the grape variety and very representative of your vineyard. BC is new on the block. I mean, there's hardly even a second generation. You have no negociant. It's all vineyard wine, and BC is something new.
To me, the story of Cascadia as a region is incomplete without wine from British Columbia. The cool thing is wines from British Columbia fit into that broader region stylistically in one sense, but also have their own unique characteristics that are not necessarily shared with most wine from Washington or Oregon.
I think we're open, and I think the next step will be people really saying, okay, I'm not just going to have BC wine tonight, but I want something from the South Kelowna slopes, or I want something from the Golden Mile Bench, and really sort of fine-tuning their food and wine experiences to our regionality in BC.
We are so breathtakingly distinct. I travel the world, and when I come back to Cowichan or the Similkameen or any part of the Okanagan Valley or the Thompson, the beauty of our wine regions are staggering.
They do stand out internationally because they're very representative of the grape variety and very representative of your vineyard. The point of terroir, the point of the vineyard, is to allow the grape variety to express itself. And in British Columbia, that happens very well indeed.
I think to find a cool New World region or country, that is already a very tough find. Yeah, normally we find warm climate, riper fruit, and that's our stereotype. So we start by breaking that stereotype. That's a very good start because we are already quite rare and unique. So I think we have a very unique positioning already, and we add on something that they don't have, and that in combination is a very unique selling point.
What struck me, I think freshness. Freshness is a trend around the world now. Every region I go to that winemakers want to achieve. It really, across the board, I think this is one of your defining characteristics, and it's great.
I'm in the camp of tell me where the wine comes from and then give me a chance to understand it. So having the Naramata Bench defined, or Skaha or Golden Mile for me is the best because now I can taste those wines and know where they come from, and I can make a real decision about what's going on there. And I think consumers in particular love it because it gives them some sort of touchstone.
I think what we could really talk about more are the hallmarks, right? Those things that do make us stand out in a global tasting or a benchmark tasting like this, is to have that fabulous ripeness, this beautiful full expression of fruit with just mouth-watering, lip-smacking acidity. It's distinctive and it's ours.
I have to be back, and I love to be back.
We're a young region, we're coming of age, we're getting to know our land, our microclimates, and this is the next step. Our introspection, our peeling back the land, and the sub-regional work that we're doing now is all important. It's critical. It is what is going to define us in the future.